The rise of digital technology is quietly reshaping the Nigerian film industry, popularly known as Nollywood. What used to be a tightly controlled space dominated by few producers and distribution channels is now becoming more open, accessible, and diverse. This digital democratization is giving more voices the chance to be heard, especially women. For many years, entry into Nollywood required access to expensive equipment, cinema distribution networks, or television deals. Today, digital cameras, editing software, and online streaming platforms have lowered the barrier to entry. Young filmmakers can now shoot high-quality films with modest resources and distribute them directly to audiences through platforms like YouTube, Netflix, and Amazon Prime Video. This transformation is particularly significant for women in Nollywood. Digital tools have created opportunities for female storytellers, directors, producers, and actors to tell stories from their own perspectives. Many women are now creating independent films, web series, and documentaries that highlight issues such as gender equality, cultural identity, and social justice. Now for a conversation about the digital democratization of Nollywood. As the world celebrates the International Women's Day today, popular actress and filmmaker Ruth Kadiri joins us now on the Rise News Day. Good afternoon and happy International Women's Day.
Good afternoon. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you for joining us. Now, being someone who has carved a niche for herself in Nollywood, can you tell us what made you move from traditional media to the digital space?
Thank you for having me, and hello to every woman out there, every hardworking woman. So what made me move from traditional filmmaking to the digital space was when I realized that time was moving. It's almost like, okay, this is the future and this is where we should be. And I just moved with time, I guess.
All right, Ruth, let's talk about authenticity and, of course, digital flexibility, in protecting your works, in pushing out, what you guys do in entertainment. What's it like? How do you protect that authentic work that people put out, ideas and stuff like that? In those days, we used to worry about piracy and what have you, but what are your thoughts there?
Piracy has always been and will always be. The good thing about technology is that we find ways that we can tackle issues like this. I'll use YouTube, for instance. There's clear copyright issues there where you could report anybody that takes content that is yours. The technology has a way of dictating whether this content has been uploaded before and by who. And you can also lay claim to your content where no other person is allowed to take your content. So it's getting better. We still have some issues where people take your thumbnail and stuff like that, or put your face on movies or posters that you have no business in. But however, regarding the main content, you have ways of protecting your content.
Do we have some form of regulations regarding that? Maybe something put in place to protect artists and what have you?
Yes, we do. The producers or the content owners have ways to protect their content on the platform. Thereby curtailing, stealing, and all that. But we have content thefts that translates or transits from just being on YouTube. For instance, you could have your content on YouTube and see it on Telegram or TikTok or somebody else literally taking your entire content on Facebook. But there are still ways that you can protect this content, but you should also be one step ahead and don't just throw your content out there and hope that nobody steals it. So
okay, yeah, I know that Bimba Ademoye had some issues regarding content theft recently. I don't know if that has been resolved, but that's relating to the question he just asked. But today's International Women's Day is with the theme Give to Gain. Yeah. How do you think that resonates with your journey? Because I remember back then when we used to watch you on traditional TV, how sometimes you're playing a very hilarious role, and then how you switch roles and how your journey has been so far. What role do you think this theme plays?
My Give to Gain story would be, I had started YouTube at that time, trying to build a community and trying to grow my fan base. And I woke up one day and my platform got demonetized. And so the question is, what do I do? And what came to mind is continue uploading, knowing fully well that I wasn't going to make money. So all the content I uploaded at that time, I knew there was no money on it, but I was more concerned about the community I was building and trying not to let them down. And I did those contents without making a dime.
But when you say it's demonetized, was there some kind of maybe
reason
that
when you go into a new playing field, you start understanding the business as it goes. They're just not, you can't learn everything. You know, you have to experience some kind of things. And we have there are copyright issues. People deal with copyright issues. There's sound issues, and most times I create my own songs because I try to avoid situations like this. And some people might say, oh, it's repetitive and stuff like that, but it's copyright, especially song copyright score, is so sensitive that one wrong move can affect your entire production or upload.
Okay, so all right, so talking about the give to gain theme, focusing on investing on women through resources, education, and mentorship. Those are the attributes of that theme. How would you describe these attributes for women in the entertainment industry? The theme is talking about give to gain, and it also focusing on investing in women through resources, and of course education as well, and of course mentorship. These attributes, you know, how would you describe them for women in the entertainment industry?
I feel like motherly instincts. We women, we naturally move into our workspace with our motherly instinct. I, for one, I know that I source for so many young talents when they are quite young, and try as much as I can to invest in them. A lot of people come and say, oh, please, Ruth, I want to be part of your team. I want you to invest in me. But investment costs a lot of money, you know, a whole lot of money. But we still take some of the risks that we can take anyway. And we try to tutor them, mentor them into the standard that we feel that they should go and the best direction we think their career path can work. And sometimes people don't see, because if you're what a 25-year-old girl is going to become at 25, you might not see it at 2. It's the parents' duty to nurture that child into what they believe or what they want the kids to be. So sometimes when people see the people that you're nurturing, because they can't see the future, they might not understand it. But regardless, we do it anyway as women. And I feel like seeing the results that we are getting is also encouraging other women to try as much as they can to invest in other people, because at the end of the day, you can't do it alone. You
can't do it alone. I'd like you to tell us some of the barriers you faced in your journey, the challenges, and how you overcame them. What advice would you give to young women who are looking to building their career in Nollywood or in the movie or in any career whatsoever in Nigeria?
Well, some of the barriers or some of the issues that I've had to face, I'm still facing. First of all, would be criticism. And that would be from people who do not understand your vision, and they do not understand it. They expect that your direction or your choices is supposed to go in the direction that they wanted. And you can't come out and explain your life's story to a lot of other people. So these are some of the challenges that I've had to face. But because I understand where I'm going, I don't let those ones deter me. And then some of the challenges we also face is investing in people and not getting value in return. Because some people are just airheads, regardless of what you say or what you do, they're just going to go in the direction that they want to go. So there's so much risks in that aspect as well. And then also investing in the wrong people. So like it's also part of it, investing in people that you might have nurtured somebody for 5 years and the person wakes up and says, Mama, you know what? I think I want to be a comedian. What? You know, so you don't have control over what people do. And sometimes they say where your treasure is, that's where your heart lies. The more you invest in people financially, emotionally and stuff like that, you'll be emotionally invested in that regard, but still you do not have control over the outcome.
Sometimes, you know, life is about taking risks.
Yes.
But don't you have an inkling when you perhaps want to nurture someone with prospects?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can actually tell maybe that person has that attributes that will develop into something greater in life. But don't you get those little vibes every now and then?
Yeah, you do. But humans will always be humans. 1 minute they want this, the next minute they want that. You don't have control over someone else's emotions, you know. And not everybody will be built to be emotionally stable like you. So people have to experience and learn. And unfortunately for you, you have to deal with the wrong decisions that life has to teach them.
You know, Ruth, one main issue that most women complain about that they deal with is sexual harassment.
Yeah.
In your space, the Nollywood space, I know that that has been one big issue. How has it been? How did you handle it? Did you ever have to face it? How is it right now? And where do you think we should be in that regard?
Well, when I got into Nollywood, it was a patriarchal system at that time. But right now, we have more women in film than men. So I believe that 80% of sexual harassment stories are dead and gone. And the other 20, I would also want to say that they could have seen it. There was a time where you did not have control. Like if you turn left, it's a man you're dealing with. You turn right, it's another man you're dealing with. You turn but you could come into a space and there are 18 women and 2 men. So there are choices now. You don't have to do it.
Did you ever have to deal with it?
So my life, I've always been behind the screen. You know, so I came into Nollywood from a little place of power, I wouldn't want to say. And so I was coming into the space where I was writing and negotiating my role. So it was from a business perspective, as opposed to being vulnerable to a career path that you love and not having opportunities. Yeah.
You know, one thing with digital flexibility, the fact that others outside of your domain can also key into this and they're also watching, as it were. So do you think from the Nollywood perspective, are we telling the right stories to the international audience out there?
Yeah, so we worry so much about the international audience. We are telling our stories. That's what I see. The international audience, they have their way, their model, their standards. A lady could stand naked on TV and shoot a sex scene and get away with it. We're not doing it. So why are you worried about what we are doing and selling to them? They are selling sex to us.
But they also want to learn something new from what they're used to.
Truthfully,
that's exactly where I'm going with that.
Truthfully, we are telling our stories.
Indeed.
Yes, we're telling our stories. So when you talk about a film, there are different aspects of, you can tell a movie for educational purpose, you can tell a movie for fantasy purpose, and you can tell a movie just so you want to laugh. You know, there are different aspects, there's different reasons why people make movies. And some people, after dealing with a hard day's job, they just want to go home and smile. And the producer wakes up and say, you know what, this is my audience. I just want them to get home after a hard day's work and smile. And that's what the producer is going to put out there. A producer who wants to teach you a lesson or who wants to push out would also tell a story based on that. You get so, but I feel we are telling Nigerian stories. We are telling our stories, and sadly, so we're not even telling them enough because we have certain restrictions.
Aren't we doing so many love stories?
My love, there's so much problem in the world. We have to
wrap it up. Thank you, Ruth Kadiri.
Thank you.
Actress, filmmaker. It's been an amazing time with you, and we wish you a pleasant International Women's Day.
Thank you.